Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This video is about an audit report towards the Goldiva Choco Syndrome Berhad. The audit was conducted towards the Goldiva Choco Syndrome Berhad to examine the compliance of the company towards the manuals and regulation within the halal certification requirement. In this video presentation, all the audit panel will be presenting the non-conformance reports (NCR) that has been found during the compliance audit. First, Goldiva Choco Syndrome Berhad was established at 12 August 2022. The place of the manufacture is Goldiva Choco Syndrome Berhad, Pusat Perindustrian Shah Alam. The industry category is in medium industry, and the product they produce is chocolate bar, cookies, and chocolate bites.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zikrila bin Muhammad Amin. My metric number is 1213561. After the investigation, we found a lot of cockroaches at the processing area. To be specific, we found it under the tables and inside the machine. There are places near the products. This will cause the food or the product being exposed to insect contamination. Also, according to number 17.8.c of the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020, stated that the premise must be fenced or have a control mechanism to prevent domestic or wild animals, insects, and animal pests from entering or being in the premise area. So, how to fix it? The company should hire the third-party agency, such as Animal Pest Control Agency, to repel out all the cockroaches or all the insects out of the premise. The second offense that we found that the label on the raw material is blurred. There are some products that are found to have unclear labeling. Unclear labeling can cause a lot of confusion to the auditor and also can cause misunderstanding to the consumer who have food allergies. According to number 17.1.h of the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020, stated that the raw materials should have a clear label and can be understood, including the name and producer of the raw material. So, how do they fix it? They just need to ask from the producer the new label of the raw material and place it at the suitable place to prevent the label be damaged.
Next, the issue that arises in the audit is the label of the product does not contain the file reference number of the company's certificate. So this is essential for the consumers so that they can refer to get confirmation before buying a product. Consumers need to be given accurate facts and enough information to enable them to make smart purchases. With complete information and facts, consumers will be protected from deviant and unethical business practices. This is according to the number 17.6G of the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020. The information must be displayed on the product label are the product name and address of the SPHM holder and Malaysian Halal logo with MS number and file reference number, the last 10 digits. Next, the machine that are used in the process are not clean and rusty. This is according to number 17.5D of the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020. The equipment and hardware must always be in good condition, clean, free from dirt, do not have any harmful substances such as toxic and rust, and do not have negative side effects on the product and the operator. This is because bacteria thrive in a warm, moist environment, which also contribute to rust and corrosion form. Furthermore, sanitation cannot be accomplished unless the equipment is fully clean. Removing rust and corrosion regularly and practicing proper processing equipment maintenance based on the procedure given will improve food safety and helps to create a healthier food industry as a whole.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syafiqah Dira binti Muhammad Nizam. My matric number is 1212238. I will proceed to the next issue arise in the non-conformance report list, which is there are some workers in the processing area that are not wearing gloves while handling the food. In this case, the workers at the chocolate product making premises do not wear gloves throughout the chocolate product making process, causing doubt in terms of hygiene and will have a negative impact on the food product produced. There are many possibilities that can happen to processed food product, namely that the food will be contaminated because it is processed with unclean hand due to not wearing any glove. As a result, when consumers consume the food, they will face adverse effect in the future. This is an issue as it relates to hygiene issues. As stated in the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020 number 17(9)(e), which is the general requirement, which is state the personal protective equipment appropriate to the needs of the job, such as head gear, glove, face shield, safety glasses and others should be provided to each employee. This must be followed so that the food produced will not be contaminated and will be high quality. Another issue that arises in the non-conformance report list is that the workers' toilet are dirty and not cleaned properly. It is possible that the workers did not clean it after use. As a result, the toilet will become dirty and give off an unpleasant smell. This creates a problem when the toilet is left unwashed and dirty and exposed to the food processing area, will cause the food to be exposed to microorganisms that cannot be seen at the same time as the food will be contaminated and spoiled. This issue is also related to the maintenance of hygiene, which is employees not only work to process the food, but employees also need to take care of the surrounding cleanliness, such as toilets and so on, as stated in number 1710F in the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020, which is toilet must have a cleaning procedure, be in a clean condition, odorless, undamaged, and not directly exposed to the processing area. It is important to follow this so that the process area is always clean and not directly exposed to impurities. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Haris Daniel bin Muhammad Syaril Azli. My matric number 1212239. As a halal auditor, we found that there are some employees who have not received halal awareness training in this company. According to the Malaysian Domestic Halal Certification Procedure Manual 2020, number 17, General Requirements, Section 12, Subsection A, stated that halal awareness training for new employees must be conducted within 3 months from the date of employment. And in subsection B also stated that halal awareness training should be conducted at least once every 3 years to all employees involved in processing and or service activities. So for the scope of training, subsection C has explained that halal awareness training must include scope related to the concept of halal and Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure and be conducted by organisation or individuals registered under HPB JAKIM. So next, subsection G of Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020, number 7, section 12, has stated that company management must provide sufficient financial funds and infrastructure for the purpose of training. Finally, all records of halal awareness training and competency training should be well kept update, and easy to refer to during auditing or monitoring of Malaysia Halal certification, it has been stated in subsection H. In addition, we also found another issue, which is we did not find any place or space for employees to store their personal belongings. According to the Malaysia Domestic Halal Certification Procedure Manual 2020, number 70, Employee Facilities and Welfare, Section 11, subsection E, states that facility for storing employees' personal belongings, good must be provided. This is to make it easier for employees to place personal item in an orderly and uncluttered manner. Apart from that, according to subsection D, it is also mentioned that the workers' rest and dining room also need to be provided accordingly. This is to give workers convenience and take care of workers' welfare.
And the next is the product are not sorted according to the time produced. First, record management is the practice of maintaining records including classifying, storing, securing, and destruction or archival preservation, which protect fragile historical archives and assure permanent records are accessible and readable from the years into the future. And next, poor record keeping is associated with challenges which are not planned for. It can lead to loss of data, which is never good for any businesses. And the last one is documentation ensures that all relevant information about a document is available for the future user. As we know, according to number 70.4F of the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020, the storage area should have detailed the policies, record, and the marking. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Muhammad Lukman Hakim and I am one of the audit panel for today's audit activity. So, during the audit that has been conducted, I have found two NCRs that occurs within the premises of the company. The first NCR that I found is that animal feces was found near the building of the premise. As we all know, this thing is very unhygienic and dirty. This shows that the building is not cleaned regularly. The animal feces can become a possible contamination towards the premise. Moreover, the presence of the animals near the premise area could lead to contaminations towards the product and also the processing area of the food. Besides that, according to the Malaysian Halal Certification Procedure Manual Domestic 2020, in the clause 17 under point number 10, the surrounding of the premises must be kept clean and avoided from any possible factors that can lead to premise contamination. This explains that any premise that are complied to halal certification must always protect the premise from any possible contamination toward the premise, such as animals and others. Regarding the NCR, I am suggesting one corrective action that can be done by the company to avoid this thing from happening again in the future. So the company should check any openings at every angle of the premise and cover it. This is to restrict any animals to enter the premise area. Now, moving on to the second NCR that I found. So, during the audit, there were some parts of the premise drainage system that are clogged. This thing once again shows that the management is not taking serious on matters regarding the cleanliness of the premise. As you can see in the picture, the drain was clogged with rubbish and food processing wastes. These clogging drains can cause bad effects to the premise as it can cause flooding inside the premise, which then can contaminate the whole premise, including the processing area and the storage room. The food products also can be contaminated with the flood dirty water. Besides that, according to the Malaysian Halal Certificate Manual Procedure in clause number 17, under point number 8, all the drainage system inside the premise must always be kept clean and maintained regularly. This clause shows that the company should maintain a good sewage flow and drainage system to direct the factory's waste outside the premise. The drain system also must be cleaned regularly to avoid any pests and other possible contaminations. So, regarding that NCR, I am also going to suggest one corrective action that can be done. The management of the company should conduct an effective way to maintain the sewage system of the premise. This can be done by having a cleaning schedule and routine. Plus, the management also should consider on equipping a pest control equipment on the drainage system. I think that's all from me. Thank you.